from Georgia.
Mr. Chairman, I yield myself such time as I may consume.
Without objections.
H.R. 4847, the U.S. Fire Administration Reauthorization Act of 2008, reauthorizes U.S. FA's activities in training, fire education and awareness, data collection, research and standards development and promotion. This legislation also authorizes $291 million in federal funds for fiscal year 2009 through 2012 for the U.S. FA. This authorization level, Mr. Speaker, is consistent with previously authorized levels, and it only includes a very modest growth in funding that is capped at 3% in any of the fiscal years for the bill. So, Mr. Chairman, as the lead Republican sponsor of this legislation, I'm pleased to have worked with my colleague from Arizona, Mr. Mitchell, over these past few months to bring this bill, H.R. 4847, to the House floor today. I am also pleased that this bill has gone through the regular order process. That's a refreshing phrase, Mr. Chairman, but I am certainly pleased that it went through regular order. In fact, in October, the Science Committee Subcommittee on Technology and Innovation, of which I'm a ranking member, we held a hearing on reauthorizing USFA, and H.R. 4847 was unanimously reported out of our subcommittee earlier this year. On February 27th of this year, the full Science Committee reported the bill after accepting both Republican and Democratic amendments that I think have improved the bill. The mission of USFA is to limit economic and life loss due to fire and related emergencies through leadership, advocacy, coordination, and support. This organization provides vital assistance in the area of training, fire education and awareness, and it awards grants to a number of our local fire departments across this country. We all have them in every district of all 435 members. These activities have made a substantial impact over these last 30 years. Mr. Chairman, it's important to note that because of the work of the USFA, smoke alarms are now standard issue in residences across the country. Over 1 million firefighters have received advanced training, and firefighter equipment and safety continually improve. USFA should be proud of its record of achievement. However, it's also clear that there certainly are still improvements that can be made. In the last 10 years, deaths related to fires have decreased by approximately 25%, from nearly 5,000 in 1996 to 3,675 in 2006. Although that decrease in fire-related deaths is commendable, the United States still has one of the highest death rates from fires in the industrialized world. Additionally, Mr. Chairman, despite decreases in the number of fires, direct damage costs are increasing, and they have surpassed $10 billion a year. The number of fires have gone down, but the damage from them have gone up to $10 billion per year. Put it another way, Mr. Chairman, in an average year, fires cause as much damage in the United States as have hurricanes. The reauthorization of USFA will allow the agency to continue to improve our preparedness and to reduce our vulnerability to fires. Unfortunately, last year we saw wildfires that literally ravaged Southern California, and the need to develop a more cohesive way of combating these fires. I'm happy to see that this legislation specifically addresses the issue of fighting fires in what we refer to as an urban wildland interface by implementing methods to better respond and prepare for fires that move from wild lands to suburban and indeed urban areas. Furthermore, Mr. Chairman, I'm particularly pleased that this legislation now includes an amendment that I offered at full committee, and it will allow the USFA administrator to perform studies related to the management of emergency medical services at the scene of a fire. Our brave firefighters, men and women, are called upon to extract victims from car crashes, building fires or collapses, or other emergencies. So it's critical that patients then receive consistent care under medical direction. While I do not expect USFA to pursue studies into the medical care EMS patients should receive, I believe that my amendment, which was accepted by the full science committee, will give the administrator the authority to conduct studies into training, system design, on-scene patient management, while making sure to work with appropriate federal agencies and existing medical services in these local communities. Mr. Chairman, the current bill is an important and well-crafted step toward a well-crafted step forward for the USFA, and it represents months of diligent work by both the majority and the minority members and staff of the Science Committee. And I want to make sure to commend the great staff of both a minority and majority. This legislation has been a bipartisan accomplishment of our committee. That's pretty much standard practice in the Science Committee, I'm proud to say, Mr. Chairman. And it's being supported not only unanimously by the committee, but by a number of fire-related advocacy groups, including the Congressional Fire Services Institute, the International Association of Arson Investigators, the International and the International Association of Firefighters, the International Fire Service Training Association, the National Fire Protection Association, the National Volunteer Fire Council, and the National North American Fire Training Directors. Mr. Chairman, I could go on, but my staff didn't list anymore. I certainly want to say, Mr. Chairman, that this is an outstanding bill, and I urge all my colleagues to support it, H.R. 4847, because this bill will enable the USFA to continue its record of achievement as well as prepare firefighters for the challenges that they will undoubtedly face in the future. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I'll reserve the balance of my time.